Okay, well, we will go ahead and get started. We'd like to welcome the winner of the 2024 Valero Texas Open, Akshay Bhatia. Akshay, congratulations. Your second career PGA Tour win. With the win, 500 FedEx Cup points, moved to number 12. Obviously, big week next week now, and in addition, the remaining 4 signature events on PGA Tour. When you came out of scoring, the dust had settled a little bit. You went to your caddy, you shook him, and you said, "What just happened?" Tell us what just happened.
Yeah, I mean, Denny played unbelievable. Coming off 9, had a great up and down, 6-shot lead, 9 holes to play. You're like, okay, let's see how big this lead can get. And then, he makes a 20-footer from off the green. I 3-putt from off the green. Birdie the next, he pars. So now, okay, we're back to 5. And then, from there, it was just unbelievable how good he hit it. The putts he made, I mean, that guy has some guts, and he's going to win a lot of times out here. But I did tell him, in scoring, I was like, "Hey man, like you're in Augusta already. Like, come on, just let me go." But no, for real, it was awesome what Denny did, and that's kind of it was a really good feeling, kind of making that putt on 18 in regulation when he made, and just fortunate to hit a couple good shots on 18 in the playoff and get it done.
You've proven that you can win before this week with the Barracuda win. You've got this victory under your belt now. You met your fiance here in San Antonio. Are you able to get your arms around a little bit about the significance of the win here this week?
Probably not yet. I mean, it's so fresh, and this place is very special to me. I know it's special to Presley, and they've always been very, very, very gracious towards me, giving me a couple spots, sponsor exemptions, and I just can't wait to be back here. This golf course is awesome. It's hard, stressful, and you just feel like you never are safe. So it was awesome.
And one last question for me, and then we'll turn it over to Alec if he's got one. All week you've been good enough to talk to us after your round. You've talked a lot about the mental part of the game, the quote on the wrist. With that said, can I ask you about today's?
Yeah, I wrote WTW, so wire to wire was kind of the motto for the day. And, it was more so just visualizing that string from the first hole to the 72nd hole, and just seeing that string and know I'm on the right path. And I did a great job this week. I played some phenomenal golf, and I learned a lot about myself last week, and I think it carried over to this week.
Okay. Any questions?
Can you kind of tell me how beneficial having adversity like you just faced out there, and how good it is to have that under your belt, and how it's going to benefit you going forwards?
Yeah, I've learned a lot being in contention a couple times. Barracuda was a weird one. I felt like, I don't know if I was ready to win. My caddy had a ton of belief in me. And then Century, I remember getting on that first tee and just not having a clear picture on that first tee shot. Make double, kind of throw myself out of the tournament. And then last week, I got that. I held the lead with 10 holes to go, and I learned a lot about myself. 6 shots that I wish I would have backed off of, and I, would have probably had a better chance of winning the golf tournament. So I took that into consideration this week. I've had 2 different caddies the last 2 weeks, so it's pretty crazy. You just kind of have a little more belief, like, JMO did a great job this week. Cook did a great job last week. But at the end of the day, how good you are, the belief you have in yourself. And I think the adversity, that's kind of what we signed up for. So it was awesome to kind of get that win.
Matt, I'm sorry,
I just wanted to ask you, Barracuda, you were kind of in Denny's shoes chasing, and it seemed like you shot up the board on Sunday. I'm just wondering if that entered your mind at all today, and how you kind of kept that at bay, knowing that you had to hang on to it instead of being the chaser.
Yeah, I played so good all week. I played great today. I didn't make many mistakes. I had 1 3-putt, but, Denny just played unbelievable. It was like this guy is just not human. And when you see that, you're like, crap, like I'm not doing anything that bad, and yet my lead is going from 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. And, just making some of those putts when I needed to. I made a lot of 3 to 4 footers today. The putt on 17, I hit a good putt, just not enough speed, and I kind of know why. and then, it's just crazy. Like 18, you kind of knew he was going to make it. So I knew I had to do the same thing. And, it was pretty crazy, that kind of battle.
And you mentioned you haven't really had a chance to let it set in yet, but obviously some personal history at Augusta. Just wondering, what are the emotions about kind of getting a chance to go back there and have your first Masters experience?
I don't even know. I mean, I played Augusta in 2020 maybe. I had a member take me out. I remember how amazing that place is, but to realize that I'm playing in the Masters next week, it's absolutely crazy. And it was on my mind all week, but I try to stick to my game plan, and I have bigger goals than just playing the Masters. I have more goals that I want to achieve, and this kind of helps me for that.
Right here.
Awesome. I'm just wondering, because we watched you today on the green, and you seemed extremely calm and collected, even with this massive crowd following you all day. How do you kind of maintain that mentality?
Man, it was really hard. I never felt comfortable. Last night, the last 3 nights, honestly, I've slept good, but not deep. It's been all these thoughts, all these shots, everything that could happen. And, I called my psychologist 3-4 times. I called him this morning. I called him last night. And, we just talked about, what the outcome goal was, not just today, but in the future. And, I felt calm, but also like this is a feeling that is really uncomfortable, and it kind of sucks, but you also enjoy it.
Kevin?
So, am I on? Yeah. I was thinking about 2 moments today, and you've talked all week pretty openly about your emotions and the roller coaster. One was when McCarthy started running in those birdies on the back 9. You had to feel helpless at that point. And also the to make the shots that you had to make on 18 in regulation. How were you able to do that? How were you able to keep your emotions in check?
I mean, I played great today. I shot 5 under on a tough golf course. Denny just played. It was one of those rounds that happens, and I didn't feel helpless. I was hitting the right shots. I was leaving myself in good spots, and I had a goal to shoot 4 under today. I thought, if I could shoot 4, it's going to be really tough to kind of catch me. And I was doing great. I started off great. And the shots in regulation, 18s, I don't love the tee shot. There's trouble right for me. If I overcut it, it's in the rough, or it could go way left into the trees. And, with the wind direction changing, that ball stayed in the first cut. I hit a pretty nice good second shot. That second shot's not easy at all. And then the wedge shot was great. It's tough. You can't really feel your arms, your hands, your mind's racing, and trying to hit a soft 54 from 106 yards is pretty tough. But I've done it, before at Barracuda. I had the same feelings, and then kind of going into the playoff, I felt like myself, like calm. I was I was just happy to have the opportunity to win the golf tournament, and I just never thought that Denny would let go, and I thought I had to do something pretty spectacular to kind of close it off.
I wonder, as a follow-up, if on the cart ride back up to the 18th tee for the playoff, if you had some sort of little talk with yourself about accepting whatever was about to happen.
Not really. I was worried a little bit about my shoulder, and my caddy did a great job kind of reminding me, why are we here today? And he was awesome. He said some great quotes to me, and he kept me in the moment, and it was just icing on the cake, just being in the playoff, making that putt. It just kind of shows to myself that I can do that on a pretty significant stage.
Can I ask one more? One last thing, I promise. What was the last thing you thought or told yourself before you made the stroke to win?
I told myself out loud, "Come on, Akshay, let's freaking go."
Akshay, I'm curious, at what point in the day did you take a gander at a leaderboard? I'm sure you were playing with Denny, aware of what he was doing. Was there a specific time you looked at a leaderboard? Were you aware of the situation on 17? Like, if you didn't make that putt, you would have been tied going to the 18th?
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was a 2-man race. I saw Rory was playing great. He was 10 under, but I think I was 16, 17 under. And, Yeah, I mean, I looked, I kind of knew where I stood, but I tried to stay true to myself, stick to my game plan. And, I was 4 under. Like I said, that was my goal today. But I guess I needed 5, and, I got that on the last putt. So, yeah, it was pretty crazy. Denny played awesome again, and, his win's coming soon.
And speaking of that last putt, coming off of 17, like I said, missing a 5-footer there, what were the thoughts over that putt? Were you fully confident in yourself, like just letting adrenaline kick in? Kind of take me through your mind on that 18th green.
Yeah, I mean, similar putt to what I had at Barracuda, downhill left to right. And, him making it, you know what you need to do. But like I said, I kind of just told myself, let's freaking go. Like, this is kind of your moment. And you miss it, okay, you finish second. But I just had that feeling that, I can do it. And it's a good feeling to have because, some people can kind of shy away from the moment. And I feel like I'm starting to get better at embracing it.
You certainly did. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll finish up with Matt, and then I've got one final one.
Just really quickly, just wanted to get a little clarity on what happened to the shoulder, and do you have any concerns moving forward about it? Is it still bothering you?
Yeah, so when I made the putt in regulation, I raised my arm, and I put it in a kind of uncomfortable spot, kind of dislocated, came back in, and it's happened before. I had this happen from pickleball, and then I had it happen in Bermuda, but it's just going to feel a little loose. My physio, he'll take care of me, so I'm not too concerned, but it's definitely a little uncomfortable right now.
And then finally, I know I asked you outside. I'd love to get it on camera if we could. You're headed back to Augusta where you first competed in the drive, chip, and putt as a contestant. Going back now, can you look back and see how that kind of helped your development as a player?
Yeah, I mean, Augusta National is obviously very special. I think it's 1 week out of the year that everyone, wants to be there, checks it off. And as a kid, going there for the first time in the inaugural drive, chip, and putt is pretty special. Something I'll always remember, wearing those baggy pants, making that putt on 18, just looking like a goofball. And I can't wait to go back. And I was watching a little bit today, seeing these kids, hit on the range, have people watch. It's unbelievable. And just even seeing some players, you feel kind of like, a pinch me moment.
Okay, well, Akshay, congratulations. We appreciate your time, and it was a thrill to watch you get it done.
Thank you.